We have a question from a new subscriber who says they've had a few losses in a row the past few weeks and months, and they are having a really hard time bouncing back. They feel stressed out that they will lose again, and they are starting to miss out on really great trades and obvious trades because their confidence has taken a bit of a hit. And they ask whether we have any tips on how to bounce back after taking some losses. So, thanks for the question. And the first thing that I would say to this is that you're most definitely not alone feeling that way. This is something that all traders go through in some, to some extent. And the most important thing I would say right now to you is that, only get back to the screen when you are really sure that you've got this current psychological challenge out of the way. Because when you feel like this and you are taking on risk, taking on risk is really, it can be a very stressful endeavor. And if you're trying to take on risk while you're not in that correct mindset, you're going to do more damage than good if you try and force yourself to trade when you feel like this. So I would say that the very first thing that you need to realize is that losses is part of the game. We did a video a while back where we shared some thoughts on realistic expectations when we trade, and something that we explained in a lot of detail was that even the best traders in the world, investment funds, hedge funds alike, all have losing trades, losing days, losing weeks, losing months. Some of them, that go through a very bad patch even have losing years. If we take a look at this image, we put this on the screen. If you take a look at this image, it's taken from an investment fund, one of the best local investment funds where I live locally. And if you take a look at their performance, you can see that it's far from perfect. Some of these losses, would make me feel, it would make me lose all my hair, to be honest, if I had these types of losses in my own personal trading account. But the point I'm trying to make by looking at these numbers is that these guys are really good. They're some of the best investors, and they manage billions in funds. And even they have losing months, even they have losing years, right? Some of which are, as I said, quite frankly, scary numbers if you think about it. So it's totally normal to have losing trades. And I know it can be frustrating to take a loss or two or three in a row, maybe even more. But at the end of the day, that's why making sure we follow proper risk and money management is so important, right? The fact that losing trades will occur cannot be avoided. And what we can avoid is being defined by those losses in our mindset. And we can avoid risking too much on any single trade that we take. So we try and make sure that we can stay in the game. I think one of the most frustrating things when it comes to dealing with losses is when your analysis was right, but your timing was wrong in terms of your entry and your exit. I actually had a trade earlier today. I took a screenshot that I wanted to share with someone. So I took a trade on the US dollar Mexican peso. Now, I won't go into the reasons for me entering the short trade, as it's not really part of the scope of this video. But the point, with what I'm saying now is that I had a downside bias for this trade, right? And I decided that I would anchor my stop just above the R1 pivot, which is an obvious place where I would normally place the stop. Now, there was a more prominent swing point just about double the distance away from the entry, where I could have chosen to anchor my stop. But today I decided to take a tighter stop, and the market literally, as you can see, it went up, got me out of the trade, and now it's right back to where we started. Well, at the time when I took the screenshot, at least. So these ones can probably be the most frustrating. It's these types of trades that can really get to us. But at the end of the day, usually these types of trades, it would have gotten me down quite a lot because the reasons for entering didn't change. The market basically just flushed me out, and it has now continued in the direction that I wanted to trade. So, I took a managed loss. I controlled the risk, and it's now just another trade on the wall or in the back. You can't let these types of trades bother you, because if you allow it to bother you, it will cloud your mind, and it might cause you to miss the next big trade or the next good trade that you can take. So, come to grips that having losing trades is totally normal. And for that reason, making sure that you stick to proper risk management is so important. Now, if you already know that taking on some losses is part of the game, and you have managed your risk well, and you still feel bummed out, then you might just need some time away from the screens. Maybe you just need to take a little bit of a break away from trading until you feel ready to get back into the game. Remember that the market will be the market today and tomorrow and next week and next month and next year. So nothing or nobody is forcing you to take a trade right now. You can afford to take a break from the screens if you think that you need to, and then get back into the game when you've cleared your head and when you're ready to bounce back. Now, if you made some silly mistakes, however, right, by risking too much and your account has now taken some unfortunate big damage, that is obviously a whole nother thing to deal with entirely from a psychological point of view. If that's you right now, I would, even more advise you to take a step back from the screens and just clear your head. There's no point in trying to trade if you've gone through something like that immediately afterwards, because there's that desire in you to try and make back what you lost. That will cause you to make even worse mistakes. It'll just eat away at you, and you could end up losing a lot more than you've already lost if you try and trade in the wrong frame or frame of mind or the wrong mindset. So just be patient with yourself in that type of scenario. If that's you, remember that this is a game where even the professionals can get it wrong, and they often do get it wrong. So it's not the end of the world if it happens. Obviously, as I said, if you took a big knock to your account, that's something that you'll need to deal with, and make sure that it's dealt with before you try and engage in risk taking again. But knowing that truth always means that we need to be even more careful, because losses are a guarantee. You need to be even more careful by not giving away your hard-earned money due to risk management mistakes that could have been avoided. So I hope that helps with the question. Of course, if you want to discuss this further, please let us know in the Q&A, and we can either reach out to you personally via email, or if it's something that we can make another video about, we will. So please don't hesitate to let us know.